making sure everything is okay. The sound of our steps combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Our flashlights are the only thing that light up our way. At times like this, one begs not to run out of battery. Let's see if I can... Making sure everything's working right. Okay. We walk without knowing what we're really looking for, or better said, for no reason. We're just a group of boys bored with our lives. Yeah, of course. Trying to create a lasting memory on this night instead of just staying home doing nothing. Today is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. 3 young men walk through the dark, but up until now, nothing special. Nothing special for us. Me, being one of them. Okay. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Making sure I'm not muted too, because I've done that one before. Seeing it like that, one could say this is a meaningless effort. For a moment I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. I'm sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. I mean, just throw a shoe at it. It'd be fine. You hear a noise, throw your shoe. If it goes, ah, you know it's out there. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. What is the point of being here? Clearly, we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would best to be... words. It would be best to return, I should tell them. Are you? I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest becomes strange. Suddenly, a cold chill runs through my body. It was like any other chill except it was going away. It was not going away. I'm sorry. Sorry. Not going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped from 1 second to the other. So much so, my breath became visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell, just a little short of being unbearable. You found a dead body, and it's a ghost haunting you. I'm calling it now. No, I don't know. Images of worms and flies soon appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. That's just natural, you know. We all stop at that moment. What's happening? I asked, confused, while turning to look at my friends. Didn't know that was me. Hey, Squirrel, how are you doing? Oh, he did say hello to you. He didn't say hello to me. He's my pet and didn't say hello. By the expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. So we're playing a visual novel, so it's probably just going to be more reading than anything today. That's alright. Because I wanted to play Rough Night at the Museum, but I think my graphics card is going to poop, so it didn't want to load it in correctly. And I wasn't going to have it crash again like the other ones did, because, you know, fun times. It was then that we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. It's a ghost! We were all dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless like statues without making a noise. We were just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. What was happening? Oh, it was his friend, not Axel this time. Good, I'm glad. I'm glad it's coming in really well. Do I sound tinny at all? Because the last clip that I heard, it sounded like I was tinny. Which could just be the headset. As if I could know. We heard steps again. They clearly belong to a human, or at least a large animal, but there's something strange about them. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Squirrel. I don't have any. I'll do this one, because I don't know them. There you go. It sounds as if if the person walked dragging one foot, just thinking about it made me shiver. Why? Because they're dragging a foot? Jeez. Or are they dragging another human's foot and that's what makes you shiver? Because there's two different ways we could take that. That they're dragging their own foot behind them, or they're dragging another person's foot and not necessarily the person. But why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we're being stalked by somebody. Or someone. Sorry, someone. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm still feeling the presence nearby. I don't know where it is, but I know that it's looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. How you know it's cursed, dude? What the... Assumptions! Jeez. My heart is beating anxiously. I can do this. There you go. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. But strangely, my friend seemed unable to perceive it. It seems that it's gone. It must just be an animal. I mean, it would make more sense if an animal was dragging somebody's foot behind them. Like a bear or, a wolf or something. Not necessarily a fox or something like that. But, yeah. And did you hear 2's footsteps or 4? Because it's very different sounding. Said one of them, convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief. However, bad luck would soon strike us again. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just a blink of an eye. Well, don't blink then. But it wasn't the fault of the forest, but our flashlights, which went out. Dude, pack extra batteries. Jeez. Of the 3, only one, mine, was still working. That's because you were smart and had extra batteries. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Probably. One of them asked, scared. Well, they both beat them desperately, I'm assuming the flashlights, as if it were going to revive them. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness was not pleasant for anybody, or anyone. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard. But the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Visibly is almost 0, but we have no choice. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I cannot remember anything of this forest. We could be walking in circles. I would never notice it until it's too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of the... Suddenly, my thoughts are silenced. We hear the footsteps of someone. Or something. Once more, the 3 of us become statues, awaiting the presence to go. I hold my breath, while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Get away from here! Leave us alone! Yeah, shout at it. That'll really make it go away. Is that a worm? Oh, that's cool. Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time they did not disappear, but rather come at us. 'Cause you yelled at them. You gave away your position. I can't stand it. Desperately, I moved my flashlight everywhere, looking for the author of those footsteps. So, he's looking for the guy writing them in. It is. That's cute. Hoping for the light to reveal their identity and ease and or erase our fears. Nothing. Is that all there is around here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. Which is good, because I actually said the word right. Hero worm. That's awesome. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment, the light revealed something. Quickly, I pointed to the same place, only to discover it was gone. I held my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. Without even thinking, I aim a light towards that place. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. What I found was so breathtaking that I couldn't actually say it because words, those things. I'm putting my Discord in the chat. If I can spell. See, I can't talk or spell. It's gonna be a nice day. So if you want to, please join. All are welcome. It's a white cat with eyes of intense red, which stands before us. Her look is not the friendliest, to say something. So was she dragging a person's leg behind her? Or... Yeah, I just have it for me for right now until I can figure out Nightbot's commands a little bit better. Because, if a white cat was dragging somebody's leg behind them, then bravo, cat. Bravo. Yeah, it's okay. Somehow I get the feeling it's a female cat. Dude! Why you gotta assume? Suddenly, she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. It sounds more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us three. So it hits the three of us. Ah! Oh, the whiteness! I fall to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close, the fatigue becoming unbearable. Maybe it was bear. I'm sorry. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Interlude before night falls. Oh, okay, I had to click again. It is a day like any other, so normal that it was almost painful. And let me turn that down. It's nice music, but volume. Whoops. Okay. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it's October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things are better when I was a child, or at least it seems like that. Beef. Is the hero worm chasing the cockroach? Is that a cockroach? They were some who had good costumes, whether superhero or monsters. Could be Superworm. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. And it is. It's Jason. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." Okay. But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went out from home to home, everyone said I was the Tomato Man. Oh, this is great. Tomato Man, Devil, both are red. Why not? But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. I don't know. Usually I bark at, people to tell them we have candy. I'm the Halloween barker for my house. Hello everybody just joining. We are playing Halloween. It's a graphic visual novel. So it's going to be a lot of reading. So if you just want to put it on background or whatever, then please do. And just sit back and enjoy or do whatever you need to do. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go to a disco. I don't know where this is based, but I think you can go in at any time. You just can't drink. But... And I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would go to a party, meet girls, and have fun. Everything perfect, except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. Then throw your own party! Throw your own party! Hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? My friend Steven called my attention while playing with a game console. Rush Shred. I believe thus the game is called, or Rushard. A fast and quiet, complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I didn't feel in the mood today. I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring! The AI is no rival for me. Steven said with confidence. That you're playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge Alfred. I said, leading my attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that. Mash buttons. Answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He is sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he's in Wikipedia. I mean, you can look at right. You can party without other people. I don't know. Hand out flyers at school, but our party has blackjack. Since you're only 17, you can't have hookers, but at least you have blackjack. Don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He is one of those pseudo-intellectuals always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. I mean, then that's actually kind of smart, but okay. The actual problem with society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. It just went backwards, okay. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. He added later. What are you talking about? This village is small, and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. Okay, now you can punch him, because... No. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. Just right off the chair. Just a little love tap. Sorry, Alfred, my hand slipped. The very fact is this small town is a reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? I asked without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses. And an arrogant gesture. He's the well actually guy. There is a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I look back at the computer screen with curiosity. And then that I noticed it was not Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little, Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. Yeah, get in really close. I'm sure Albert is a nice guy and wouldn't push your head into the monitor. Town of Abingdon, Oxshire Country, 1994. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life, goodness, I have seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense, that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I have seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drunk alcohol, but was still sober. Or at least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently, he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is, we don't know what happened then. The tracks suddenly end up in the clearing in the forest. And that's all. There was no evidence of a struggle, no other trace, nor pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. I don't think fish works anymore. I think that's a command that I have to work on. The depths of his last footprints and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he was vaporized into thin air, with all his clothes. Well, at least he's not naked in the middle of the walk, in the middle of the forest. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints, I sense a faint smell of rot. I love how everybody just knows what rot smells like. I think that's an instinctive thing. You just know what rot smells like. However, there is no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think that he suddenly started to decay and became earth. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there is no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories. That's another one that needs worked on, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, naked. It just, he just evaporated with his clothes. He wasn't naked in the middle of the woods. That's good, I guess. He won't catch cold or allergies or, Not that you can catch allergies, but, yeah. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end, they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for some similar stories. To my surprise, I found 4 more. And hold on 1 second, please. I will be right back. Pardon me. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. And beep. Yeah, I'm already back, but go ahead. I don't care. All young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there is more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this, and that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Okay. So, Roger Bacon, his name just sounds delicious, so I can understand why he disappeared. Michael Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought the answer, not my answer, may be in the past of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually hid a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest, the place was called Witchwood. The word witch has huge similarity with witch. Thank you. Taking into consideration that it's an old name, the language changes over time, indicates that it was the Forest of Witches. Apparently more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. And let me guess, they either went in there where people were actually living and killed all of them and burned down their houses, which, will lead to a big curse on the forest, or they just left it alone. I don't think they left it alone, though. Unfortunately, almost all the information, is lost. It almost was lost. They were stories told in voice, without a properly written record. I just know with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like that as the answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Let's go with the last one. Yeah, right? They just left him alone, it's fine. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hiding in this town. I said honestly surprised, even if it is a lie, it managed to hold my interest. Wait, there's something more. For 1995, Alfred said at the same time he scrolled through the comments. Reread what is written there. A couple of comments call our attention. Both of them talk about some creature. At the time, they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them, while the two comments share great similarities, but they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Alright, I'm just going to say this. Let there be a lesson that if you live in a town with a forest called Witch Forest, or Witch Woods, don't go into the woods on October 31st. Don't do it. Just don't. Whether you believe it or not, somebody will. And somebody will make sure other people believe it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend, but couldn't find anything. I thought that you only read these things to look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partly, yes. He admitted it. There was a secret everybody silently knew. Well, now we have the activity for tonight, Stephen said at the same time he makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simple, let's go to the forest. Or let's just crash the party. You know, like Steffa Becca Nee? Yeah, let's go to her party, because she's a-hole, and let's just crash it. Let's just go crazy and... I don't know. It's a no. Unfortunately, it's not. I don't know. It might be, actually. It might be Alfred Pennyworth. Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. You only needed to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. Despite everything you heard, you want to go? Of course, it'd be a test of courage among us three, replied Stephen, full of confidence, perhaps too much. He should relax a little bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. No, why should I be afraid? They have blackjack at Steffa Beccanee's. Go there! Answered Alfred at the same time he folds his arm, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you're afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. Party crasher, yeah, right? And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly, Stephen asked me, at the same time looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I'd be like, no, it is a really good dish. Chicken can be served with almost anything. So, how dare you down-talk chicken, number one. And number two, screw you, you guys go. That's but that's just me. I hate that tone of voice he used. I will never give you that. I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We're going to the forest, Stephen said, full of energy. And don't forget your water, because you need water to stay hydrated. Yeah, right? To stay hydrated, because, Yeah. We three said in unison as we were going to have some kind of private party. You'd have a private party at your house without going into the woods in the dead of night on Halloween. But, just not really knowing what we were going to do or what we were going to find. At 2:13 a.m. Well, you weren't passed out for that long. Just long enough to have a flashback. I awake completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. My head hurts, but I can't blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon I come back to my senses. My flashlight is laying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately pick it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remember that Stephen and Alfred were with me. Stephen! Alfred! Can you hear me? Without thinking, I scream their names in the dark while trying to find them in my flashlight, but there's no trace of them. They are gone. Are they like gone, or do they like pee themselves and run gone? Because two difference again. Where are they? And what the heck just happened? I really don't understand anything. We should have stayed home. This is not a proof of courage. We could be in danger. I have to find them. 2:19 a.m. Little time has passed since I started to look for my friends. See, it's 6 minutes, but it's alright. I already can't stand this place. I'm going crazy in the forest. It's been 6 minutes! The darkness that covers it, it's unnatural. Is it a darkness that steals your own sanity, replacing it with anxiety? It's been 6 minutes. Do you not have cell phones? Do you not have... Climb a tree, get reception, or climb a tree, shine your light down. Look for them that way. To make it worse, the air is damp and cold as in winter, carrying a strong rot smell. As if there were corpses of animals hidden throughout the forest. Well, I mean, technically there are as well as corpses of other things that maybe, mammals. But anyway, the atmosphere in this place is oppressive. With every step you take, it makes you more uncomfortable. Welcome to stream, everybody. We are playing Trick or Treat. It's a interactive graphic novel. So there's just like a lot of reading going on and like some really fuzzy dark scenery. Since I started to look at my friends, I felt that something is watching me, but there is nothing. I sigh with my voice full of frustration. I want to get back out of here. I continued walking devoid of any hope. No matter where I look or how much I walk, I find nothing. I cannot even hear the sound of animals. Rather, it seems that they are already dead and rotting. I mean, you've said that like 4 times now. If you feel like there's something dead and rotting, climb a tree! Get some fresh air. No, I have to calm myself, I said to myself. I stopped for a moment to rest. I breathe deeply, but the rotten air in this place does me no good. Immediately, I start to cough, as if I had something stuck in my throat. See, this is why you need the water, What am I going to do? This cursed forest seems endless. And even if by miracle I could escape, I cannot abandon Stephen and Alfred. I mean... I'm really screwed up. I think that's supposed to say I really screwed up, but... Okay. Oh. Again, I sigh, feeling on the verge of tears. My frustration is building up, but I have to do my best to keep calm. If I fall into despair, then there is no doubt I will be joining the list of missing persons. Making sure I wasn't muted this whole time because, that happens to me often. In the end, I decided to keep walking. Step by step, I should get somewhere. At least I was convinced that staying in the same place would do me no good. Alright, please, anybody out there, correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't the first thing they tell you if you get lost in the woods is to stay in the same place until help can come? Is that not the first thing they tell you? Even if it was only to deceive myself, feeling that I am doing something, I wanted to continue walking. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. We are playing Halloween, or Trick or Treat, sorry, it's a graphic visual novel. I'm guessing it's about, witches at this point. But please, kick back, relax. If you don't feel like chatting, not a big deal. If you have other stuff doing, then please just put me on in the background. Low volume, continue doing what you need to do, and enjoy the stream. I'm gonna put my Discord up again. Anybody wants to join, please do so. Everybody is welcome. There you are. Sorry, my nose is leaking. Time passes without any changes. Only the sound of my footsteps can be heard. Knowing that as soon as you stop, you will be surrounded by a dead silence is a good incentive to keep walking. But my legs were already hurting. Suddenly, I hear a crack at my feet. Instantly, I take a step back and look below to see what made that sound. What is this? Alright, it's either a bone or a branch. I whispered to myself, surprised, discovering that I had stepped on an animal bone. I believe it's from an animal, although I do not rule out the possibility that it belongs to a person. But for my own good, I prefer not to think about that. An expression of anguish is drawn on my face, because I just have this mirror that I just look into every time, just in case, just to see, what I look like when I'm anxious or in anguish. It is best to ignore it. I have to keep walking. Suddenly, my flashlight reveals something. Without hesitation, I point towards there again. Ah, it's the white kitty. Only to recognize with a surprise that it's the white cat. The one from before, which made the awful meow, but this time I find it laying on the ground. It appears to be fainted and is wounded. Then what should I do? Help it? Even if it is a witch, at least, you know. Yes, thank you, Swirl. I mean, if you help it, even if it is a witch, at least they're like, oh, you helped me. Thank you, kind mortal, and I will spare you and not put you in my cauldron and eat you with butter and or gravy. Or both. We're gonna pick it up. It is best to continue without waking her. That cat is dangerous. It's her fault that I ended up in this place and my friends are missing. But even knowing that, for some strange reason, I can't help but feel sorry for her. Even if it's unnatural, it's still an animal. Please give me one more second. I apologize. I will be right back again. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for saying nice BRB screen. And if you want to talk smack, go ahead and talk smack. It won't hurt me. It will not hurt my feelings one bit. Oh. Okay, so we picked up the animal. See, maybe I went through the woods and I caught some allergies, you know. Then I bend down and see her closer. She is unconscious and there is a thin line of blood coming from her mouth. I'm a real idiot, I said to myself at the same time I cleaned the blood from her mouth with a handkerchief that I had with me. Fortunately, she doesn't wake up. Yes, nothing's like cleaning the blood off of a cat's mouth and then all of a sudden it just wakes up and launches at your face. And then I closed her mouth, making her appearance a little better. Now she seemed to be peacefully sleeping. I mean, I feel like you'd be able to see if she was breathing as well. But after a long sigh, I decided to pick her up carefully. I don't know what the powers of this cat are, but if she brought me here, then maybe she can return me to my world. How do you know you're in a different world? It could just be a different part of the... Yeah, right, wakes and takes off your finger, yeah. It might just be a different part of the forest. With her in my arms, I decided the best thing I can do is to continue walking. 2:31 a.m. Again, I find myself in the dark forest walking aimlessly. only moving forward, but it didn't seem I was getting somewhere. Ah! Whoops. Again, I hit the wrong button. In my arms, I carry the cat, which sleeps soundly. Come here. Here you'll be safe. I suddenly stop. It was probably easy to see the disbelief on my face at that moment. It's that voice again. I whispered to myself with no one listening to me. Shortly after I found the cat, a mysterious voice appeared in my mind. It is a feminine voice, soft and gentle, as if it belonged to a princess from a fairy tale, but I can't trust it. Am I really going crazy, or is it the forest that doesn't make any sense? I don't know, but I don't like any of the two options. I then feel the cat move in my arms. I look down at her confused, just to see how she opens her red eyes suddenly. Is it gonna launch for his face? It's the cat's voice. Yeah, that's what I think too. I become quiet at an instant. For a moment, the two stayed motionless, staring into the eyes of the other. The red eyes of the cat are disturbing to me, but also there's something fascinating about them, something that attracts me. Maybe she's thinking the same thing, like, what the f, human? Your eyes look weird. The F? I lose myself in her eyes as if hypnotized. Until suddenly she jumps with the intention of scratching my face. Yeah, that happens. My reflex is pushing her at the same time I jump back, turning my head to dodge her claws. I manage to dodge her attack, but in the process I drop my flashlight. I mean, I feel like if it's October and it's chilly out, you have a coat, so you're supposed to, if you take the chance of picking up the cat, you're supposed to wrap him in the coat. Like, I know that makes you cold, but you're walking, and with the cat being, like, bundled in your coat, when they wake up, they don't scratch, all that good stuff. Plus it, like, coddles them, you know, so they feel safe, I guess, but... I panicked and acted clumsily. The flashlight falls near me, lighting up a tree in the vicinity. As soon as it left my hands, I remember how dense this abnormal darkness is. I quickly pick it up, not even thinking before taking action. What, that the cat might be there? I then light the place where the cat was. Only to discover she had arched her body angrily, as if she feared an attack from me. Those red eyes stares at me, shining with the light of the flashlight as if they were jewels reflecting a fearsome hatred and rejection towards me. My body freezes after seeing them. I can't even think. The cat then lets out a thunderous meow, similar to the one before, but weaker, although not any less frightening. I know, right? The poor flashlight gets dropped all the time. There is no doubt there is something wrong with that animal. It must be cursed. Everything is her fault. Dude, you're the one that went out into the woods with your friends on Halloween, knowing the story, and just not being brave enough to tell your friend, hey, go screw yourself, I ain't going, because you were afraid he was going to call you a chicken. Big deal. Big deal. So then you blame the cat. It's not the cat's fault, you made poor decisions. She must be some kind of evil spirit, a pet of the witches. I feel how panic seizes me. My heart beats quickly, begging me to do something. My mouth is dry and my forehead covered with cold sweat. See, if you packed the water, your mouth wouldn't be dry. Kitty stoned. What should I do? Confront the cat. Confront him. No, I should not despair. I have to calm down and think carefully about what I should do. With that in mind, I take a deep breath and look again at her. Soon the expression in my eyes changes from fear to courage. I realize it is only a cat. Without a doubt a strange one, but my life, is not actually in danger. This isn't a tiger staring at me, but a simple cat. Apparently her only power is those weird meows. If she could kill me, she would have already done it. So I rule out that possibility. I mean, her mouth was covered in blood, but we're just going to skip past that. Her work must be transporting the next victim to this area of the forest, so unnatural and shady. The cat or the forest? After filling my lungs with air, I slowly walk towards the cat. Her meows get louder with every step, but I don't let them scare me. Seeing that I do not turn back, she shyly takes a step back. In my mind, I smiled at the image. The prey is now the hunter. I look at her directly while advancing. Little by little, her meows become weaker, as if she was losing strength. Then I suddenly jump and take her in my hands. She hardly resists at all. Not so tough now, right? You look better like this. She is trembling in my hands. Yeah, that's get your face closer to a trembling cat. Let's do that. Excuse me. She looks so helpless that I almost feel like the villain. But I must not forget that all she has done so far, it's her fault that I'm in this place. Again, not her fault for your poor decision. She brought me here. Then, if I kill her, would it be possible to go back? Don't kill the cat! For a moment, that grim idea crossed my mind. I have never killed an animal. Truth is that I can't be proud of myself in doing such a thing. If I do, maybe this legend could end here and now. Then what should I do? Just keep her captured, dude. It is only logical the magic should die along with the cat. That should be my ticket back. If I kill her, everything would just be over tonight and the legend would come to an end. Confident that is for the best, I try to view it in my mind. But no matter how hard I force myself to see it, in the end, I'm unable to take the life of another living being. Even if it is a cursed cat, serving a witch. It probably is the witch, but yeah. I don't feel good killing her. I think I'm too nice for my own good. Don't worry, we're not killing the cat. So the only thing that remains is to keep her with me, hoping that sooner or later she allows me to escape. With nothing more to think about, I decide the best thing to do is continue my path. 2:41 a.m. In a span of like 10 minutes. Or a little less. In a few minutes since I captured the cat, again I find myself walking with her in my arms, led by the strange voice. How long have I been walking in this forest? Apparently not enough to make me go mad, but it should be close. Don't be afraid, come with me, I will help you. The voice sounds closer this time. It seems that I am going in the right direction. I don't fully trust in it, but it's the best I have. At least at first glance it seems a friendly voice. I'm completely focused on my way when I suddenly feel something bite me. Dude! What the heck? I shout in pain, realizing the cat bit my arm. Because I think the cat is trying to save you, and you're not listening to the dang cat. Fortunately, it wasn't a dangerous bite, but it sure was painful. With my distraction, she takes a chance to jump from my arms, following a few steps away from me. Quickly, I set my gaze upon her, furious, but soon something happens that makes me forget about my anger. Suddenly, the cat is covered with a bright light. So much it repels the unnatural darkness surrounding the forest, stealing my breath. Under the light, its figure gradually changes until it ceases to be a cat and becomes a human figure. No longer is there a cat in front of me, but a girl with incredible beauty. I must be going crazy. So is this like the cat girl thing? Does anybody know? Is this what they mean by the cat girl thing? She has white hair and red eyes. She seems about my age. In other circumstances, I would have asked her out without hesitation. Oh, okay. Just thinking about it makes me laugh to myself in my mind. Even though the edge of madness, it seems some things are about me will never change. She approaches slowly towards me, one step at a time, with no fear. I'm gonna save. Because I haven't saved since we started this. Okay, now. The girl then stares into my eyes with a slightly irritated face. Her lips are moving. She seems to be saying something, but I am unable to hear a sound. Are you trying to tell me something? I babbled, still confused, with a face of disbelief, which surely made me look stupid. said the girl with a very low voice. I do not understand what she is saying. What? I can't hear you well, I asked, still confused. Suddenly the girl pouts in a bad mood. What's wrong with you? Are you deaf? Finally I could hear her clearly, and just in time because it seems her patience was about to end. Okay, I now hear you, I said, annoyed. All of my astonishment from just a few seconds ago disappears when I see the arrogant attitude of the girl. Again, at least now I don't think she'll bite me, I hope. The girl then snorts with irritation. What an annoying guy I had to find, she said at the time she places her hand on her lips, making a pensive face. Wait, you shouldn't speak ill of someone you have right before you. I was quick to respond. For a moment, I feel annoyed at the thought that I have to teach manners to the spirit or whatever she is. I pity so much beauty wasted on someone so arrogant. The girl let out a snort of annoyance after hearing me. I'm sorry, it's a bad habit I can't quit, she answered without sounding very repentant. Clearly a false apology. After talking, she diverts her gaze towards the surroundings as if she was bored. I see, I replied, annoyed. Thank you again, Swirl. I just met her and I already feel like I don't like her. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I must not forget who this girl is. She was the cat that started it all. You keep assuming that. Like, you keep assuming that she's the one who started it, when it could have been anybody else at all. But, whatever. Anyway, at least could you tell me why you attacked me and my friends? I asked shortly after, acting more serious. The greetings were over. It's time to get to the important stuff. And why did you bite me if I wasn't doing anything? Before I knew it, my lips moved, asking another question. I cannot lie, I was angry. The girl then stares at my face. She blinks with curiosity before speaking. Does it hurt? The wound? She asked innocently. Yes. I was quick to respond with annoyance. I didn't need to say more. Of course it hurts me, silly cat. She looked at me in silence for a few seconds until suddenly she approached me without any shyness or fear. On second thought, how could a simple human such as me scare a cat that can turn into a person? Show me your wound, said the girl when she stood right next to me. Her presence makes me nervous. This girl seemed to not know what personal space is. As embarrassing as it sounds, I had never had a girl this close, if only it wasn't in this forest. I don't know why I shouldn't trust her, but strangely something tells me that she had no bad intention. The girl is surrounded by a calm aura, something pure unlike anything else in the forest. Okay. And with that, yes, I'll overwrite the save. And with that, that is my time for today. That's not it. So what we are going to do is we are going to raid. Excuse me. We are going to go ahead and raid somebody. Thank you everybody for being in my stream. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to go and raid. Let's see here. We are going to go ahead and raid Last Night's Ghost because she's on, and I think she's talking about something about eating a frog. So let's go raid her. And everybody, thank you so much again for joining me. Have a good night. Good morning, evening. Maybe if I can do this right. All right. There we go.